He's a wonderful human being and a fabulous bishop. We've been blessed. Camden Diocese have been blessed.
My faith has grown exceptionally as a result of him.
He's always either worrying or promoting the position of the church and the people in the Diocese of Camden.
He wants you to be successful, he wants you to succeed, and he's always been a great support for me.
The things that he's done will last for years and years and generations, I think, to come in the diocese.
We refer to Bishop Sullivan as our good friend from the Bronx. Since his installation, he was persistent in his request to have us come and serve alongside him here in the Diocese of Camden.
His presence is very noticeable in a great way, just through his real authentic and true presence to the people, no matter where he goes, whatever parish he's in.
If you went to Webster's Dictionary and looked up New York Irish, it would be a picture of Bishop Sullivan. You have that New York personality, you have that Irish wit that comes through at every turn.
He's eminently relatable to people. If he's really relaxed, you can get him to be very blunt about his feelings and things that bother him or things that he's very happy about.
Coming from New York, we were a little nervous about how he was, going to be this tough guy from New York, and he's not. He's a sweetheart and he's a shepherd.
He loves us in his own way, that's for sure. His gentle or not so gentle words of encouragement at times, but it always just speaks to the love that he has for the church and how he only wants the church to thrive here in the diocese.
He also had this ability to always be the priest, to always be the person who understood the needs of the people close hand direct, who understood how to relate to all people.
My first real interaction with him was when the photos were being taken for confirmation. Bishop Sullivan loves them to go fast, right? He just loves to get on, get in and out. I was really good at that for whatever reason, and I think he enjoyed it. So it was like the first thing that brought us together.
To see how the people respond to him, and frankly, how he responds to them, it's pretty amazing.
I don't know how he does it when he's talking to an 85-year-old, and then he's talking to a teenager, and he's talking to a 3-year-old, and he has good examples for all of them.
We had a bishop that welcomed us constantly to his residence, that was with us in our good times, in our bad, who sent us birthday cards, sent us anniversary cards.
And I follow his schedule in the Star Herald. And he makes me tired even looking where he's going.
He answers every letter that's written to him.
I mean, I get a little nervous because he's the bishop, but he always makes you feel that you're important. He loves what you're doing. He thanks you for your work. He's so thankful.
I had sent him a letter letting him know that I was going to be leaving the diocese, but then when this opportunity presented itself, I stayed. And he came up to me, grabbed my hand. He goes, "Thank you for not leaving. Thank you for taking on this position. You're going to do great. You're going to do great."
He really came to our diocese with a love of the priesthood and a desire to promote and support vocations to the priesthood. He demonstrated to all of us priests the importance of going out into the diocese, greeting people, getting to know them. And you could see that he just got energy from being with the parishioners and coming to know and love the people in South Jersey.
Thanks be to God, now we have a larger number of seminarians than some other places, and we're not doing too bad. And that really is on account of him and taking that interest in those interactions like he had with me as a younger guy.
I remember the first real interaction I had with Bishop Sullivan, it was actually after my father had passed away. He pulled me aside at this event, and I'll never forget the encouragement he gave me in that difficult moment. So right off the bat, there was something special about that connection with him.
Bishop Sullivan wanted us here because he's a true father to the poor. When he comes and spends time at our ministry, you can tell that, like the church, he has a preferential option for the poor. He cares about them.
Estamos llamados a ser instrumentos de esperanza en nuestra comunidad.
My parish now, I have a pretty active Hispanic community, And I know that is, right at Bishop Sullivan's heart, the Hispanic community.
I think what most impressed me about him at that time is the fact that he wanted the communities to come together. He wanted to make sure that the Spanish community was not in the periphery, but that they were front and center, a part of the life of the church and a part of the sacramental celebration.
You can really see that fatherly love that he has for all of the sheep that are entrusted to his care. He truly is a shepherd in that way.
He's such a strong proponent of Catholic education.
He's so supportive of the schools, and he works so well with Dr. Watson and Father Byerly and the administration. It's a wonderful group of people, and he's our leader. First couple months I was at Holy Angels, we needed money, so I wrote a letter and I put it in the parish bulletin. He must have seen it. He wrote me a letter and said, "Kid, I like your fire, keep it up." And just in those couple months that I was there, I always felt supported.
I also grew to know Bishop Sullivan before seminary through those visits to the high school. And that wasn't just a pop in, celebrate Mass and leave. There was a real presence than staying for lunch or visiting different classrooms, talking with students.
And when I walk into a church and I see that Bishop Sullivan's there, I'll be in Ocean City and I'll walk in and he's celebrating Mass, the homily's going to be good.
He's an excellent homilist, right? He's very articulate. He's a terrific writer. Some of the things that he's done in the Star Herald have stayed with me.
On one level, you never know what you're going to get when Bishop Sullivan preaches, but you always know that you're going to get some deep wisdom and insight into the great mysteries of the faith through breaking open the scripture, but also tying in the many different changing realities of our world.
It just comes so natural to him that he doesn't realize how it affects all of us. And many people have said how wonderful his homilies are. And he handwrites every one of them. It's a riot.
His focus on missionary discipleship within our diocese is something that is going to lead us for years and years to come. He has helped to create this environment where we've learned that our role is not just to be a follower of Christ, but we then have to take that out to others so that we can help them become followers of Christ as well.
Bishop led us so beautifully through the Eucharistic revival. In a particular way, the Eucharistic procession we had on the boardwalk of Atlantic City. The boardwalk was packed, and 1,000 people gathered around the bishop and our Eucharistic Lord to proclaim and to celebrate Jesus' true presence. It was so powerful. It was such a boost to my own faith and to the faith of so many people.
And telling a story about how he was talking with a jeweler from New York, and the jeweler gave him a precious stone or a precious gem. And Bishop said to the jeweler, "Wow, I don't think I've ever held anything so precious in my hands." And the guy, without a blink, says back to Bishop, "You hold the Eucharist every time you go to Mass and celebrate Mass." Just that experience that he shared with us helped me to reflect on my own relationship with Christ in the Eucharist, my understanding of the Eucharist.
When I look at the work I'm able to do as a deacon, I understand that I can only do it because of his willingness, because of Bishop's willingness to empower me to do it. It was shortly after Bishop was installed as the bishop of our diocese, he wanted to create a deacon council. And that deacon council is still active today. It was a wonderful opportunity for us to begin understanding what it is to be a missionary disciple.
It has blossomed, and for me personally, it's been a real gift to my vocation to be able to live it out here under his care.
And I'm a better priest because of working and living with Bishop Sullivan. He just had a way about him that showed the importance of being dedicated to the ministry. And he would remind us priests all the time that one of the ways that we show our parishioners we love them is in the amount of time that we spend preparing our homilies.
He's awesome. The Blue Mass. He has the Blue Mass and he invites all the schools. And it's such a beautiful Mass. At the end of the Mass, he thanks his committee, he thanks everyone, and does a shout out to each school. Thank you for being there. That's just Bishop Sullivan.
There is this humility in Bishop. He can laugh at himself. He can laugh at situations around him.
From the moment Bishop called me to give me my assignment at St. Clare of Assisi Parish, I knew something was up. He says, okay, come over to the house. I said, okay. And we're talking for a second. He goes, all right, so I'll see you tomorrow morning. Don't be nervous. Click. And that was the moment I knew that my life would be drastically changed. And that's when I got nervous. The years of practical wisdom that he has, which he freely shares, whether you ask or not, he's going to tell you what you're doing wrong. His words of encouragement, his words of wisdom, plenty of opportunities he takes to make fun of me at really any chance. But he's always just been an incredibly supportive figure in my formation and in my priesthood.
He may have been a bishop, but he was a father, a spiritual father to our community, a father that went out even at the sacrifice of his own time.
I first met Bishop Sullivan in 2014 through a close friend of mine, Father Romano. He connected us because I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. It was really tough and scary for what the road ahead was going to look like. It made a huge difference in my recovery, even just talking with different people and helping spread positivity and faith and prayers. It really made a huge impact on my recovery, and I credit Bishop Sullivan with that so much. Bishop Sullivan did all of the above. He called me, he wrote me, and he came to see me in person. It would be maybe before or after a big appointment, or before or after a big surgery.
He cares about us, knows us, cares about our families, our personal needs and struggles. Recently, one of our sisters was in the hospital, and when he became aware, he prayed with her over the phone, and then a few days later called to check in how she was doing.
When he came, we were in the middle of mergers. We were finishing up mergers, and it was difficult. A lot of people were angry. I think he won them over with the realization that we needed to do this, and he did it calmly and quickly.
And also, he led us through the COVID time. You know, when people were so concerned and upset and scared, he offered us this hope constantly.
We had to deal with the reorganization. And obviously that's not a task that anybody wants to undertake. And for Bishop Sullivan to take that on, knowing that he was going to be retiring in a year, and that was 3 or 4 years ago at this point, I can't imagine the weight that comes down with something like that. I think just that speaks to how much he cares for the diocese.
People like myself on the Finance Council, I think, have been able to kind of give the bishop support, but also ask the right questions. But most importantly, he became the public face of an issue that had plagued this diocese, but yet stood up and took responsibility for. Frankly, it's what any great CEO does, and he followed that playbook from day one.
When the shooting in Parkland, Florida had happened, I remember driving in the car with him, and he got word that the students in our Catholic high schools wanted to walk out and protest. There was going to be this demonstration across the United States of America. I think that a lot of the people in the diocesan administration were afraid of that and said, we need to put a stop to this. It can't happen. Bishop Sullivan is just not a man of fear. And he said to me in the car, Catholics, we do processions and we make stances for things. And I said, we're not going to stop these students, but we're going to teach them how to do things in a Catholic way.
Bishop has been a consistent champion of the people of the Diocese of Camden. He's taught me a lot because it's actually faith in action. It's not words.
I have grown as a person. I am exceptionally proud to have worked with Bishop, and I know that in everything I do in the future, he will be a part of me. Everything I do in the future will draw from him.
I am looking forward to having a friendship with him outside of just being someone that works under his guidance.
My role as a deacon and how I serve people will be a testament to how he showed me how to serve people.
And I think what he has done in our diocese will leave a mark for years to come. He's a wonderful bishop.
A million times over, thank you so much. And you have really kind of, reimagined what faith means to me and my family. And, you know, we shared in so many unique ways that we never thought we would before we met.
As far as saying goodbye to him, I'm not, because we still have work to do, and hopefully we'll be working for a while.
Who's saying farewell? We're saying, Bishop, we can't wait to see you here more often, because you're not only our bishop, but you are a priest forever.